mean, I worry about the amount of stuff that you expose online.
In my training, I'd thought, what happens if I shit myself?
Newsflash, I am not a marathon runner.
It is a week since the London Marathon, and I thought it was fitting to get none other than Mr. Ed Powell, former London Marathon finisher. Welcome to the PKS Running Club.
It's a pleasure to be here again, Paul. How does it feel to be part of the alumni now?
Yeah, it feels good, mate. I'm a bit disappointed that you're not wearing your top, though.
Well, just for you today, I've got my...
Oh, you've got your... Oh, wow.
I mean, you might want to put a couple of filters on your on your camera, but it's a bit tight.
Bright orange.
I don't know what the designers were thinking when they did the 2021 top,
Yeah.
but yours is a much better colour way than mine.
Yeah.
Maroon and gold is very Gryffindor.
Very Gryffindor. I've not actually watched Harry Potter.
Harry Potter, nor have I. I've watched Harry Potter.
Yeah. Harry Potter, the porno.
Not even a minute in.
Yeah.
And your mum's going to be...
she's going to be horrified. Absolutely horrified.
Nah,
yeah, both made by New Balance, though. So obviously they've been a landmark sponsor for a long time. But you've got Virgin money.
I have. Yeah. It's still New Balance and... Is it TCS? I mean, it's
not TCS, it's Virgin money.
Is it?
Yeah, obviously.
Shows how much I pay attention.
Yeah, TCS is the sponsor, isn't it?
I mean, I'm not sure. It's what's cool about this top here is that when you're out driving and you see someone running, you know they're a London Marathon runner because of the top. I'm not sure if you get the case with that one.
Yeah, no.
But that's a much nicer colourway. I think I'd rather have that one.
Yeah. Well, you're not having it.
Well, I mean,
it's mine.
How does it feel to wear a top that has finisher on it and you don't feel guilty about wearing it?
Yeah, it feels good actually because I do have my finisher's top from last year and I never actually made it to the start line. So
yeah,
it's a credible question.
Yeah,
it feels good. Should we talk about medals?
Yeah, how was the medal? Yeah.
Medal's amazing. I've got it down here. It's weighty.
Yeah,
it's girthy.
I mean,
I'd say
not for the first time, bigger than mine.
It's nice.
It is nice.
I mean, I should be wearing it, shouldn't I?
Wear it, man.
I think.
Oh, that's nice on the back.
Yes,
the landmarks on the back.
Yeah, it's nice.
I can't remember if mine has that. God.
And it's got Braille on the front.
Yeah, that's nice. That.
I think that's a nice touch. I think being inclusive to everybody.
Did you have any blind runners running?
I did see some blind runners. They didn't see me.
Were they, I mean, with partially sighted, were they with?
They were with a.
She's going to sidestep that one.
They were with a like a guide runner.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I don't know how that works. I think someone said to me that you're attached to them on a rope.
Well, I imagine it depends on
level of severity of.
I guess so. I mean, I once went running with my Labrador. And it was brutal. Like, she's just a machine. So I was wondering if anyone actually would run it with a guide dog.
Oh, I see.
Like a genuine question.
Oh, a guide dog? Yeah. No, I don't think so.
You should try and get someone on. A partially sighted runner.
There is a guy who follows on Instagram. I think he's called The Blind Runner.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay.
So we'll have to ask him.
Yeah, try and get him on. That'd be fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, that medal's nice.
Yeah, thanks. Have you got yours?
I do.
Yeah. Let's have a look at yours.
There you go.
Oh, you've got yours in a frame.
Yep.
Oh, heavy frame.
Yep.
I mean, it looks like a chocolate medal.
It's funny, like
honestly, it looks like I could take it out of the frame and eat it.
I mean,
is it? It's not actually chocolate, though, is it?
No, Paul.
It's lacking design embellishes, I'd say. Like this one's got like all the notches from. I'm assuming that they're 45 years of the marathon. I guess I was at a sort of a landmark event, whereas yours is just like a run-of-the-mill edition.
Still the same route.
Yeah, but actually, interesting story. I'm actually a world record holder now.
You what?
I'm a world record holder.
It was this the amount of people that applied and actually run the actual event?
Yeah, so I can actually get a Guinness World Record certificate and medal from
along with 90,000 other people.
Well, 50,000.
I thought it was more than that ran it.
No, it was like 56,000. But still, how many world records have you got?
What, official or?
Yeah, official ones.
I mean, I don't like to say,
Well, no, let's put a number to it.
None.
None. Okay. Yeah. Thought so.
I'm just going to quickly check how many people ran the London Marathon this year.
Yeah. I think it was 56,000. I think there was 600 people that didn't finish.
People ran. 56,640.
Oh, okay.
So about 56,000 if you're saying around 600 didn't finish. That's a shame.
Yeah. Oh, it was brutal. Like, honestly, it was so hot. I think...
Move that down now.
Yeah, move that down. I think
you going to put yours in a frame?
I don't know. I'd like to, but then it's like, do I put everything... Like, the other medals I've got in a frame, at the moment, they just hang on my wall in the office in a very haphazard kind of way.
Yeah.
I'd like to have a better way of displaying them, but I've not quite figured it out.
Yeah. I mean... This was a gift. So,
yeah, it's nice.
I ran the London Marathon in 2021.
Ed's never mentioned that.
Yeah, for the brain tumour charity for my sister. I gave this to her the Christmas after I ran it. And when she passed away, I was like, I'm having that back. So I'm having that back. But the frame.
So thoughtful. Yeah. Did she technically leave it to you in the will?
I mean, I don't know if it was in the will.
Did it go through probate?
No, my parents. They probably tried
siphoned
to
it off.
grab it. Yeah.
Gosh.
Let's
hope the taxman's not listening. So I reckon that's probably worth something.
Well, maybe. Although it's interesting, like when I got them, how did it feel when you got the medal? Actually, no. Let's do that later. We'll do that.
Yeah,
let's do this chronologically.
All right.
How was the build up? Sort of, you and Laura got the train over.
Yeah.
Then you went straight to the Expo.
We got the train up on the Friday night, which was nice. Took a bit of Friday afternoon, took a bit of the stress out of it. Although we got delayed at... No, it doesn't matter. Let's not talk about the trains. Yeah, we got there eventually.
Okay, yeah.
We went into the Expo on the Friday night, which was actually brilliant. Because
was it busy?
No.
Okay.
No. So...
we just walked straight in?
Walked straight in, picked up my bib, walked around, got all the kind of like all the classic photos, didn't really have to queue for any of them. So that was really, really nice.
That's so different to my experience.
Yeah. Well, I went back in on the Saturday because I had ordered to get my name printed on my running vest. Okay. So I had to go back in. Bedlam. Absolute bedlam. But went in and it was nice. Chatted to loads of the vendors. Got some like test products to try out and for the next training block.
Did they have the giant treadmill there where you can try and run?
No, they didn't. And I wouldn't have even risked it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no. They did have the new Wahoo kicker treadmills, which I think they're about £20,000 each.
Don't get it, Paul.
Oh gosh, like with what money? I wasn't.
Not that usually stops you.
Yeah. No. It's a bridge too far, but they looked pretty cool.
And want to,
Yeah, if you want to sponsor an episode, for a measly sum of £20,000, we'll do it. But yeah, there was some really good stuff. The thing that really got my interest was a brand called OGT, who have made energy bars that are wrapped in effectively beeswax.
Right.
So you just chuck them in your pocket. There is no wrapper because the beeswax is edible.
Yeah.
Very thin layer, and it's like an oat kind of bar. So it's the carbs, but without all of the like environmental damage.
Because when you're running, you're having to saw wrappers and stuff. It's
yeah. So it's really annoying. So I bought a pack of them.
Great.
And I will be trialing them because for those of you who've watched my Instagram reels, you'll know that there is an absolute fucking douchebag who drops the same energy gel wrappers week after week after week in the same place, and I keep on picking them up week after week after week.
It's not when you do that.
It's getting annoying.
We need to get one of those animal cameras.
Ooh.
Where you set up like a camera trap.
Yeah, the thing is, I say it's in the same area. It's like within the same like mile of.
See, this is the content
path.
People want. They don't want you talking about your runs and your splits and all that rubbish.
Yeah.
What they want is you actually being a proper running crime sleuth.
Yeah.
And then you actually setting up camera traps and doing a bit of community policing.
I actually did, honestly. So on the day that I found it, I went onto Strava.
Oh
like the times of it, and then
this is like a Netflix thing.
Yeah,
already.
I know. Yeah, because you can look for segments, and you can see like who's done it in the last year, last week, last day.
Yeah.
So I went through one point, and there's about 15 people that.
So you've narrowed it down to 15 people.
And then
about 45,000.
Yeah, but what you'd need to do is I'd need to, if I was going to properly investigate this, I'd need to keep a record.
Yeah.
Who were the runners on everything, and then on all of those occasions.
I want to know what is stopping you from doing this.
Well, I've got a full-time job. I mean, I do actually. I know everyone thinks I'm just.
You post an awful lot. If you've got time to do that, I think people. What would you rather see? PKS runs, telling you about his running journey and how he aches and the pains and everything, or PKS runs actually trying to find the runner who's littering and destroying the countryside.
I'd love to
comment underneath.
Yeah, I would like that. I'd like to commit my time to doing that.
We'll do it, mate.
I think it would be for the betterment of humanity, but also buying a little box of those OGT things also may be a good solution.
Maybe OGT could provide us with somehow I'm now involved in this. Provide you with a camera trap.
Yeah, maybe that's a good idea.
Okay,
they were pretty. I think they were pretty annoyed about the whole rapper dropping thing. I mean, that's why they've come up with this as a solution, because they think it is an environmental issue. Think of, let's say every marathon runner had 5-6 gels.
Yeah.
Probably more, let's face it, for those who are running, 4, 5, 6 hours like you did. And I'm sorry.
On,
but times that by 56,000 people.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Hundreds of thousands of plastic wrappers that are dropped across London. Let's assume that most of them just hit the side road and get picked up.
Yeah.
There'll be a ton of them that will have gone into drains.
Yeah.
That will have, made their way into sewage systems. Yeah, it's awful. Really, it's immoral.
Okay.
When we think about it.
So you went to the Expo beforehand. Yep. I remember when I did it, it was horrible conditions. It was just raining, and also because it was the first one after COVID.
Yeah.
Like
did you do the autumn one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I did the autumn one.
Yeah.
And I got the train up. It was absolutely peeing down with rain.
Oh, horrible.
And I was staying at a friend's house. He very kindly sort of let me stay there because they were away for the weekend. It was like one stop down from the starting point, but I had to go to the Expo, do your bag drop.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Was it like that this year?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you had to go there, do the bag drop.
Oh no! Sorry, no, we didn't. We did our bag drop. Sorry, no.
On the race day.
Yeah, we did. We bag dropped on race day at the start line.
Yeah. So I had to do it the day before.
Oh, that's rubbish.
And they basically was like, anything you take off at the start, you're not getting back.
So
rubbish.
You had to,
yeah. So it was just, and then you had to queue up to get into the Expo on the Saturday, to get your race number. No, to just do your usual stuff.
Yeah.
And it was horrible because I was queuing up all the way in. You're outside for about an hour. It was miserable, and obviously I only had one set of clothes.
Yeah.
Which again, my friends posted back.
Yeah.
But it was just.
Yeah, it's really
cool.
it's yeah, and we were really fortunate because on the actual race day it was like this.
Yeah.
So you're queuing up. Well, you drop your bag. The jumper that I had thought I'd originally just leave at the start line because I'd expect it to be cold, I'd put in my bag to pick up at the other end, and I just walked around in my vest.
So,
but it would have been horrible though, because you started at Blackheath.
Yeah.
On the common.
Yeah.
Like what? You're just standing around in the rain in a grass field.
So it was you in a grass field. You sort of get there. You go in, and I had like a little lightweight jacket.
Yeah.
And they had massive clothes banks.
Yeah.
Like basically biffa bins.
Yeah.
Where you would just donate whatever you because they just like, we're not transporting this because you get the transport. You do all your stuff post race.
Yeah. That's really tough.
Yeah, it was rubbish. So you get there and it's like, right.
So your shoes are probably wet.
Yeah.
You're soaked through at the start of a marathon.
It was just cold. It wasn't wet. It was just cold.
Okay.
It was just cold. But I had to go up on race day in the train wearing my trainers that I'm going to wear on race day.
Yeah.
So it was just, it wasn't great.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Yeah.
So Sunday morning.
Sunday morning.
What time did you get to Blackheath?
I think I got there about 8.
Okay. And what time was your start time?
Maybe 9. About 9:40.
You had to be sort of ready to go.
Yeah, I think I was there, probably there earlier than that, actually. I think I probably left my hotel about 6:45.
How long was the commute between hotel and...
I'd say about 30 minutes.
Okay.
So on the DLR, which is relatively simple. You just basically follow everybody else.
Yeah.
I mean, you get to the station, there's people there that are running, you just kind of go, okay, well, I'll follow you, assume that they're going to the right place.
Yep.
Not going to a local fun run somewhere else in London.
Yeah. There's a nervous thing there, isn't it? You want to sort of get there not too early, not too late, but you always leave too much time because you're... Yeah.
And it was really good. So I actually...
Did you have a poo before you go out?
I had a poo at the hotel, yeah.
Oh, good work. Nice.
Yeah. So, I mean, my body clock is pretty solidly like routine, 5:30ish.
Yeah.
Get up in the morning, do a poo. So that was all sorted.
Yeah.
Tons of nervous wheeze.
Yeah.
Like urinals, like portable urinals. Never seen that before. That was extraordinary. Okay. That was a whole new thing for me.
Yeah.
Got on the train, met Shay, who has been watching on YouTube. So that was really nice. So I chatted with him the whole way, which really calms the nerves.
Yeah.
Then someone else got on and asked, like, where, you guys heading to the marathon? Obviously we were.
Yeah.
So we got chatting to him, and then from there onwards, it was like, it was a really nice, enjoyable morning. Like, just as I probably as soon as I got in, Ian Worsfold, who has asked questions on the podcast and what have you, came and tapped me on the shoulder, and we chatted for a good half an hour and watched the elites warming up. Saw Kipchoge and Philly Bowden and whoever else the elites. Like, let's face it, no one really knows any of the other. Didn't see Alex Yee. Thought we might see him, but
he did well.
Yeah, he did really well.
Yeah.
I mean, solid first time marathon performance.
Yeah, cool. Man.
So it was great, and then sort of you're off.
You get to the starting point. How, for those that haven't done the London Marathon before, like, there's different waves.
Yeah, different waves,
and the different start times, also different start points that all sort of siphon in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brutal.
Yeah.
So I was in wave 1, right?
Yeah.
Blue wave 1. That is, you have the wheelchair start is the very first one.
Yeah.
Then there's a bit of a break. Then the women's start, and then the men's elite start. So the women's elite, men's elite. Then shortly after the men's elite, you've got the championship start.
Yeah.
So
what sort of times are they doing?
They are, I think for this year, it was under 2:38.
Okay. So you're quite close.
Yeah, so we're in the wave behind that.
Okay.
So you're with runners who are really aiming for somewhere in the 240 mark.
Yeah.
So you get put into these pens. So you go to the pen, and then you sit in the pen, and then you go into another sort of bit around the road, and then you sit there for a little bit longer, and then you kind of get taken round to the start line, and then you go off. First mile, I'm running, and I'm thinking, this is nice. This is good. Like,
was it busy? Was there loads of people in front of you? Or was it okay?
No, like, got plenty of space, running the pace I want to run. And then it's about 3/4 of a mile, your first group from another wave suddenly merge with you. So all of a sudden I've got people in fancy dress. And I think I captured it on one of the video, like an alien just appears out of the left. And in fairness to him, he's holding a good pace, but there's no way he's keeping that pace. I don't know what his number was, but there's no way he was finishing at that pace.
I want to check it now.
Yeah.
Up on the screen.
Ed's going to fact check.
Yeah.
So then it's like, okay, so now it's a bit busier. You then do about another 3.5 miles, and then you're suddenly joined by a mass, like a huge mass of people who are all running slower than you are. And it's at that point that you think, oh shit, this is going to be really hard. And all of a sudden, and some of those people might be experienced runners, some of them might not be, some of them might be fast but haven't done races. So you've got this whole thing where people just stop.
It's a bit of a lottery, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, people just being like, I'm running, stop. And then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, hang on a minute, I've got, like, what am I supposed to do? Yeah. So you're dodging, you're like up and down over curbs. Basically, the only way to keep a decent pace is to like be as far on the edge of the road and try and use the pavement if you can. Yeah. And at that point you can, because the supporters are a bit quieter. Later on in the race,
it's still early, isn't it? Yeah.
So you haven't got everyone out. By the time you get to, I think, like Rotherhithe, which is like 10, 11 miles, it's all starting to get busy.
The lead up to Tower Bridge is where it starts.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
So, and it's somewhere in the between 4 and 5 miles that I hear this bang on my shoe, and I then feel something in the bottom of my shoe, and I think what in my mind what's happened is I've trodden on a discarded bottle top, and the air bubble in my shoe has popped.
Right.
And I can feel it as if it's like I've got a pebble in my shoe, but I can carry on. So I kind of like, every few steps I sort of like switch between like heel striking and like midsole strike so that I'm like lessening the impact on my toe.
You're trying to sort of adapt.
Yeah, basically trying to make it as straightforward to run as possible. But at that point, from there onwards, for me, like my thought process was, all right, I know that Laura said that she's going to try and see me before Tower Bridge.
Yeah.
So I'll keep my eyes open for her. I'll see her, and then I'll just stop and get her to take this bottle top out. It'll be quite straightforward. I didn't want to stop because I didn't want to cramp.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to keep going because I was doing good. I was doing good pace at the start. I was doing well, like 19 minutes, I think, for the first 5K, which is about what it needed to be. I did start to slow with that in my foot. And I brought the shoe for you, mate.
Like you bought the shoe for me. We're in your house.
Yeah. This is the shoe. This is Nike Alpha Flight. Literally, it's very first outing. I didn't even go out and do a shakeout run in them. This was their first run.
Yeah.
So I sit down at about mile 15 or 16 to inspect the shoe, thinking I'm going to find a bottle top in my air bubble. Have a look.
Mate, that's a proper... Yeah. I mean, it's gone through the carbon plate, hasn't it?
It's gone through the carbon plate.
And is there normally a bubble thing in here?
No. It's just it's just the plate. So you got it out quite easily, but it took me about 2 minutes. But I think that's because
you can see it's obviously lodged in the carbon.
Yeah.
And you can.
I mean, in terms of like the probability of that going,
that being that way up as well.
Yeah, that
like
way
normally
up.
If you do that, it falls flat. Yeah. But to be that way up.
Yeah. And to go through that, I mean, if it hit the side anywhere, it would have gone through the rubber, and it probably
go through the carbon as well.
Yeah, unbelievable.
And did it pierce?
It didn't pierce the insole.
Yeah.
Because funnily, right. So here's the funny thing. So I've had so many comments about this on Instagram, mostly TikTok, where people are like,
cesspool.
"Why didn't you just? Yeah, it is a cesspool. Yeah. Like, why didn't you just stop and take it out?" And like, well, you never planned for it. Like, it never. I'd thought in my training, I'd thought, what happens if I shit myself? What if I vomit?
Again.
What if I? Again. What if I run out of energy? What if I need to walk? You never think, what if a foreign object pierces the carbon plate of my brand new running shoes? So you don't think straight during a marathon anyway. So I was just like, well, I'm not stopping. I want to get my target. That's it. So yeah, it's funny. People obviously, people are like, oh, I've run 276 marathons and I would have just stopped. And you're like, but if it's never happened to you, you don't have a protocol for it.
If you've got a target as well.
Yeah.
That relentless pursuit or something, you just
Yeah.
on.
I mean, I've been getting up at 5:30 every morning all winter to get this target. So you just, you want to do it.
Yeah.
You don't want anything to try and stop you. And in the end, I mean, that could have been the thing that stopped the whole race, but fortunately I managed to carry on.
Yeah. So what mile was that when you managed to get it out?
Somewhere around 16 or 17.
Okay. So you are, and you've run with it for about 10 miles?
About 12 miles, yeah.
That's mental.
Yeah, it's nuts.
That's crazy.
So it took me about 2 minutes to get it out. It was properly wedged in. I don't know if you find this, but I suffer I get really cold hands.
No.
And particularly when I run, I really lose the sensation in them. So I'm trying to get this out, and I can't. I can't really feel my fingers. So it's like what I said. I think I said it in one of the former episodes. I really struggle with the energy gels, ripping them, because I just can't. I feel like I can't grip them when I'm running. So again, more good reasons for having an edible bar.
Yeah.
And at that point, the whole body just seized up. So I sat down for 2 minutes.
I was following your live tracking.
Yeah.
I think after, I can't remember how many miles it was.
Yeah.
I sent a message to Laura, and he needs to speed up.
Yeah.
He really needs to speed up.
Yeah.
And there was a part of me which was like, is he going to go slower than me? And of course, then a part was like, I kind of want that to happen.
Yeah.
But I knew that would never happen. But
no,
it was
not in a month. 10 days.
And then your splits just started
getting worse and worse.
And I was like, and then I was chatting with a friend of ours, and I was like, something's going wrong here.
Yeah.
Something's going really badly wrong.
Yeah.
And And I was just like, I think he's got caught up in traffic at the start. He's throwing everything out.
Yeah,
and that was that. It was just really hot.
Yeah,
I was like, I think that was my suspicion.
Yeah,
as you know, as a former marathon runner.
Yeah,
retired.
Yeah,
that was like, that was my instant sort of gut reaction.
Yeah,
I was like, he really needs to speed up.
Yeah,
and it got quite addictive actually, just refreshing the app.
Yeah, and a lot of people were struggling. I mean, people, I think left, right, and centre found it really hard.
Yeah.
People, I mean, I reckon probably the last 5 miles, I kept on seeing the same guy.
Yeah.
Stopping to stretch. Yeah. And he would then get ahead of me, and then I'd catch him again. He's cramped and stretching. And,
yeah. I mean, it was hot because when funny enough, like the marathon I did was in conditions like today. Yeah. Like it was lovely like this, and then it would get really, really hot when the cloud cover goes. And then I remember when I got to mile 24. Yeah. Just this flash rain just came in. Yeah. And then it just went. Yeah. And okay. It was amazing. Like just, I bet it was incredible. Yeah. Yeah.
Because we had they had like hose pipes doing showers.
Just hose people down. Yeah. Wow.
Which was amazing. But again, you're like, I kind of want it, but at the same point, I didn't want it. Like I didn't want to get sprayed by a hose. So I'm like, I just want to get to the end.
Yeah. Because I mean, it's. I felt I was sort of watching it. I was like, something's going wrong here. Yeah. And my general vibe was, jokes aside and banter aside about sort of times and what have you. I was like, oh man.
Oh, I was in the hurt locker. Like, I mean, I kid you not, probably the last 6 miles, there wasn't a single bit where I felt good. I went from.
What was your favourite part of the actual? You look back on it.
I think it would have been those first few miles because everything felt great. I mean, I've got the camera footage from my head cam, and you can see I'm loving it. Like I'm like engaging with the crowd, like having just everything feels like it's going well. I think by Tower Bridge I'm still enjoying it, but it's getting hard. Those couple of miles after then, I think one of the big things that you don't take into account is just the cognitive load. Like of how much you're thinking. So I spent the whole time scouring the course for Laura because I was so desperate to see her. And then once I got Cramp, that then intensified. So every time I saw people, I was like, "Is Laura there? Is Laura there? Is Laura there? Is Laura?" Like I'm just looking.
Couldn't focus,
and I couldn't focus. So I'm burning huge amounts of energy just looking through the crowd, which is awful, really.
But it's like very few people get to do the London Marathon. Yeah. And
56,000. It's not
in comparison.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And when you do it, it's there's a reason elite runners are elite runners because they can just lock everything out and just focus on whether it's heart rate, pace, whatever. Because when you're doing it, it's a very emotional race. Yeah. Because it's not only is it the London Marathon, it's it's the go-to marathon in the world. Yeah. But just the messages that you see on people's tops about why they're running.
Oh yeah, gosh.
Why they're running the marathon. Yeah. And just thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people are cheering you on. Yeah. And
and the noise is insane. Yeah. Absolutely insane. Like I had my OpenShocks headphones on. Yeah. Couldn't hear a thing on them. I wasn't listening to music. It was just the pace notifications. Yeah. Couldn't hear anything. So I didn't know what was going on. I could heard in the first few miles. It was like, I think it was about mile 5 where I got the pace notification. And it was like 1 second ahead of target. I was like, perfect. Like we have literally absolutely nailed that first 5 miles. I just got to keep on going. Yeah. Bang. That was it.
Yeah. But it's when you get to Cutty Sark.
Yeah.
That's when it starts to get
yeah.
You're going around. It's like, right. Oh wow. The crowds are like 4 or 5 people deep.
Yeah.
At that point, just cheering and cheering and cheering. Yeah. And then you get to Tower Bridge, and then you sort of then it takes you back out. Into Canary Wharf way. I think. I think going off memory, and then you sort of then start coming back in again. Yeah. And it's just so loud. Yeah. It's just so loud. And I think my strategy was always get to a half marathon. And then, you're halfway, you're on your way home there. Yeah. And I remember my brother made a podcast for me which was about an hour or so long, where I just thought, right, now's the time to put it in.
Yeah.
And I sailed through up into about 18 miles.
Yeah.
I mean, sailed to,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But like it was quite an emotional thing. People sending messages to keep going. It just totally took my mind off everything. But it's when you get past up to 20 miles and it's like, I've only got about 10k to go now. This is easy.
Yeah.
And then you hit mile 24 and it's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But you then all of a sudden the crowds just get louder and louder and louder.
Yeah.
And for me, the favourite part was those last few miles.
Yeah.
Going up the mile.
Yeah.
And just like I was checking my splits.
Yeah.
The other day, going what were my speed and my fastest section?
Yeah.
For the last few miles.
Oh really?
In comparison to everything else, yeah. And
so did you break into a run?
But
too easy.
I tell you what, though, this is where I have got one over you. Is that the consistency of my splits was
insane. Yeah.
Like it was like 10 seconds. There was one section where I did back-to-back kilometers, bang on, exactly the same pace.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah,
that's brilliant. I think that's great. I mean, in fairness, yeah, I think that's brilliant. I mean, I've done. That's my 4th official marathon.
Yeah.
I've run other marathons just in training, like years ago, just for fun, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, but I've never had to stop before. I've never had to like dramatically slow down the pace or anything like that. I've always just carried on at a relatively okay pace. And this is the first time I've had to, I stopped and had a hug with Laura. I've stopped multiple times to to walk. Cramps.
I think the heartbreaking thing for me was I watched a video on the marathon, and just newsflash, I am not a marathon runner, but I pretty much enjoyed every mile.
Yeah.
It was incredible, and I look back on it now and like, oh, do you know what? That was amazing.
Yeah.
And the last few miles, just going up the mile, which is so emotional.
Yeah.
Like this is like what Olympians must feel like. Just And then sort of crossed the bit at the end, and I was like, well, that's that done then.
Yeah.
That's all that. It's finished now.
Yeah.
But just this sense of I don't think it really seeped in until after, quite a while after. It was like, I did the London Marathon.
Yeah.
I ran a marathon.
Yeah.
And it was just like doing it was just this amazing feeling when I saw you doing it.
Oh yeah.
Having done all the training.
Yeah.
And you couldn't take enjoyment from it.
No. Really. Yeah, it was really hard.
That for me is like, because I've been saying to you, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. And you're struggling up the mile.
Yeah.
And just in tears.
Yeah. And there's a bit in that video where there's a police guy goes, 800 yards to go. And, and that for me, that should have been about...
a crowning moment.
Should have been a 2 3/4 minute to the finish line.
Yeah.
I think it took me about 8.
Yeah. Like,
and I'm getting overtaken by hundreds and hundreds of runners.
But I think there's a lesson in there for you.
Oh, yeah.
Which is, actually, you can... Yeah, the time is one thing.
Yeah.
But when does getting a time overtake the enjoyment?
Oh gosh, I think it's a great question. I talked about that on the last podcast with Ellie about at the end of the day we're all amateur runners unless you're running for a world record or you're an elite.
Yeah.
You're there running for fun, and so you've got to hold that intention. And I think.
And you didn't listen to it, did you?
No, I did, but you just don't. You never plan for something so freak as what happened, and but someone commented on the Instagram. One of the Instagram posts, they said, run to complete, not compete.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, hold it all in perspective. I finished the London Marathon in 3:14:51 seconds.
That's insane.
And whilst for me that's like overwhelmingly disappointing.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's still within the top 10% of the finishers.
Yeah.
It's still amazing. And I think it is a special. I think it is a really special finish because I'm the only one who's got this.
Yeah, I mean,
it's such a crazy story.
Yeah.
And I carried on, and at the end of the day, I've always said, I think I'm really mentally strong, and I think I proved it.
Yeah.
I battled the adversity and got it done and struggled through and have the medal and the bolt to show
it got me down a little bit.
Oh, I'm sorry,
like the bit, because I wanted you to sort of run down the mile.
Yeah, have
like,
the victory moment.
And just be like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
You know, regardless of the time.
Yeah.
And you didn't have that.
Yeah, I was so relieved to finish.
Yeah.
I mean, it was all about, you know, you see it when I get to the finish line. I was like, right, is this it now? Is that it?
Yeah, but I got to the finish line. I was like, I reckon I could keep going.
Yeah.
But then that's just the hype from the crowd.
Yeah, I think so. And
the adrenaline.
Look, and that's the thing, right? So when
I didn't get to experience that. No,
I didn't
that was just going.
Yeah, and I got to, you know, I was literally hobbling for the rest of the day.
You're running like a frog, mate. Like your legs were just...
all over the place. Running form's terrible. You know, flash back 6 months where I've done Loch Ness in 2:45. Had a meal. So, you know, walked, you know, come off the finishing line, absolutely buzzing, gone back, had a meal, had a shower, put on a fresh pair of running outfit, and gone for a 5-mile recovery run with my GoPro.
Yeah.
And gone back to the finish line to cheer everybody else on, and I'm still buzzing.
Yeah.
Like, to think that was the same person 6 months later, I think I was actually fitter for this one than I was for that one.
I'd hope so.
And yet... Yeah, I mean, it's just it's heartbreaking, but you know, perspective is an amazing thing.
And you know, jokes aside, the next marathon that you do, and you know, if it's the London or whatever, make sure someone halfway's got another pair of trainers. Like genuinely, like
yeah.
You take the learning curve. You take the learning from it. It's like actually, well, next time I will bring a backup pair of trainers.
Yeah, just in case. They're very expensive.
But
yeah, it's a good point.
I've seen your garage. There's plenty of trainers in there.
Yeah,
I mean, take a spare pair of trainers.
It's an interesting one because I came home that day and I was like, "There's no way I'm ever doing London again." Because firstly, I've not got a good for age qualifying place. Secondly, I just didn't enjoy it. Sure enough, I've entered the ballot. But actually, next if I get a place, which obviously is highly unlikely, but I'd like to do it for charity.
Well, mate,
and I'd like to run it slowly, and I'd like to go and enjoy it.
Well, I didn't enter the ballot.
Yeah, so your odds are less than mine.
Yeah, so but what I'm going to do, I'm going to speak to the Brain Tumor charity.
Oh yeah, brilliant.
And be like, right, I'll do it next year.
Yeah.
You can be my personal trainer.
Yeah.
Get the coverage from this guy to raise money. See if we can raise more money than last time.
How much did you raise?
About $5,000.
That's good.
Yeah, it's about $5,000 I think I did in the end.
Yeah. Obviously, I'll have my own fundraising targets.
We can do it together, man.
We can do it together. But I want to run for Mind.
For Mind?
Yeah, mental health charity.
Okay, not like the premature thing for your daughter.
Yes. And he was wearing the top for Bliss, the premature baby charity, the guy that kept on cramping, which I think was why it was so emotive to me.
Well, maybe we could.
But Phoebe said to me, so Phoebe's my 16-year-old daughter who was born prematurely, and
26 weeks.
26 weeks, yeah.
Crazy.
She actually said to me when I got home, she was like, "I think I want to run the marathon with you."
Amazing. And
so when she's 18. We've said that we will both. Well, I will train her.
That's her 18th birthday present. Sorted.
Yeah, and we'll both run for premature babies.
Well, maybe we'll have a chat about next year and see how I can convince the Brain Tumor charity and maybe we could do like some sort of collaborative thing over the next 12 months.
Do they do a massage over the finish line?
They did a private party
where which is nice. See, I mean, like the whole finish thing was just like your crowd through like massive crowds, and it's like
what was amazing, like with the Brain Tumor charity was they booked out a hall in the university. I think it was university close by.
Yeah.
So you go through, and I'd arranged to see mum and dad and Steph there. Yeah. I got there before them.
Oh really?
Somehow.
Yeah, brilliant.
I think that's a podcast for another day if I do the marathon again.
Actually, it's a good point. Actually, just to clarify, so since we last recorded an episode, have you actually been out and run?
I mean, I've been running around a football pitch
because you're a coach.
Yeah, but I did say to you this week. Plan this one to a T. Yeah. Let's go out running the day after you've done the London Marathon.
Yeah, but today was my first run. I went for a run this morning.
Let's go for a run tomorrow.
Yeah, okay.
We'll do a slow run.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, go figure.
Yeah, obviously.
But anyway, so with the Brain Tumor charity, they booked out I can't remember the name of the university. It doesn't matter. But they'd organised a hall where they're doing sort of snacks and prosecco and everything.
Yeah, nice.
And I got there about to walk in and say, wait. I was like, what? Just wait. I was like, okay, just stop for a second. And then it's like, right now, come in. Oh. And they come in, and everyone gets up and gives you a round of applause.
Oh my God, I would have been in bits.
Yeah, like they cheered you in and sort of gave you like a standing ovation.
Yeah.
Gives you a glass of prosecco. And if you wanted like a massage, they had like a little space where you could get a massage. There was food and everything. Amazing. And it was like, oh, this is amazing. But at that point, it was just, I was like, where's my parents? Like, where's Steph? Like, where are they? And they had a mare during the day.
Really? Yeah, I'm sure.
Which maybe if I do it next year, we'll get them on to talk through the actual nightmare they had.
Steph won't be there, will she?
No, she'll be there in spirit.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was no. Yeah, I was the next one, mate. It'll be the next one. The next one. Just finally, because I got stuff I want to do today.
Yeah, it's been really long actually, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been that really long. It's about 45 minutes.
Oh, okay. That's right.
Yeah. What's obviously you've been sort of documenting.
Yeah.
Your stuff online.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about this now, or do you want to save it for another time?
Oh, let's save it. I don't know. Yeah, let's save it. I think it's. Yeah, no, I had sent Ed the link because I thought something that was worth talking about is some of the response to some of the videos I posted this week, particularly the ones that are a bit more raw, me crying.
Yeah.
And some of the response has been horrific.
Let's just quickly
go on, give us some of the comments.
I don't want to give it too much time, if I'm being honest.
No, that's fine.
And maybe we could do something separately about
toxic masculinity, basically.
Yeah. How's this guy getting pelters? Half the commentators haven't around 10k. That's the one defending you, I guess.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm trying to
there's just basically loads of people saying, what are you crying for? You should be tough as a man. I could run a marathon and I wouldn't cry. All that sort of stuff. It's just awful, really.
What I'd say is that just scrolling through now, there are a lot of people coming out
and backing
you up, which is great.
For sure.
And I think this is why I don't do any of this sort of stuff. Yeah.
It's all pretty toxic.
It's just basically a bunch of bellends.
Yeah. But the problem is I can't help but respond to them sometimes.
Dude, you've got to rise above it.
I know
don't because that's the thing is like you never wrestle with a pig and shit because they love it.
Yeah, I know, but pigs and shit don't have algorithms. But it does. Do you know what I mean? If you get them in for an argument,
can you please put that on a t-shirt?
Yeah.
Like, pigs and shit don't have algorithms.
I'm actually thinking about getting some merch.
I love someone goes, "Was the Rivet okay?"
Yes, a Rivet is fine. I had a guy on Instagram, right? So maybe let's finish with this.
Yeah.
He says to me, he's like, "What on earth?" He said, "There's no way a rivet goes through your shoe." And I said, I said, but there's a hole in the carbon plate. He said, "I'm not messing, mate, but I work. I'm a tradesman. I work all day around rivets, and I stand on them all the time, and one has never gone through my shoe."
Just like, why?
And I'm like, but yeah, when you're walking, sure, it's not going to go on there. But when you're running, like when you're doing a 6-minute mile.
My favourite thing about that is like, why do you feel the need?
Yeah.
To kind of like be like, oh well, yeah, I work all day at building sites. That's never happened to me. I'm like, well done, like, good for you.
Yeah,
like, you're probably wearing work boots.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, exactly right.
How does that comment?
Yeah.
Like,
what does it add to the conversation?
Yeah. What does it bring in? Like, it's just
it makes me laugh.
Yeah, and I think I mean, I worry about the amount of stuff you expose online.
I've not got my genitals out.
Yet.
Yeah. I mean, OnlyFans, in fairness, would probably be a good way of funding this whole thing.
But I think there is a thing about how much you do put online and why you're doing it.
Yeah.
And I think...
I think it's always, for me, I think there's a fine line between you post stuff that you know might be a little bit evocative in terms of like for a response, which obviously social media likes that. At the end of the day, I do want to grow the social media following. So that is because if you get to a certain level, then maybe you can get some sponsorship or make some money out of it. Particularly with YouTube, you get some of the advertising revenue and all that sort of stuff. But at the same time, I also want to offer up an authentic, honest expression of what it's like to be a dad, someone who runs as a part-time hobby, works full-time. I don't have somebody editing my content, so it's all a bit rough and ready. It's as and when it comes because it's when I've got time. And I think it's important. Like yesterday I posted a couple of photos that when my sister took them and sent them to me, I was like, oh no, like with my top off, with my medal, and I've got like the little bit of muffin top at the front, and
we've all got it.
Yeah, and it's like, but I think what you see on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube, with particularly the running influencers, is they've all got like absolutely banging bodies. They've got like, they're shredded. They've got perfect physiques.
And let's be honest, like if you're gonna have a midlife crisis or a hobby,
yeah, fitness is a good one.
Fitness is a good one to have, isn't it?
Yeah.
And if you're documenting it, then and that's your hobby, then that's fine. I think as long as the why is in check.
Yeah, that's right.
Then it's fine. And just finally, I think big shout out to Nike. Was it the? Was it Nike? Was it?
Yeah, it went directly tonight. So yeah, I did actually. Yeah, so actually, this will be the final outing of these shoes because I've got a returns label. They are going to refund. I messaged Nike through their chat, and the guy, when he said, I am absolutely heartbroken for you.
Bless. That's good.
I'm going to cry.
That's good, mate. But like,
but genuinely, it was like the most amazing response. He said, we will absolutely just send them back to us. We will refund you. He said that should not happen on your, like, the thing that you've been building up for. And shame. But
what he didn't say was, and we'd love you to be the new face of our Nike.
Yeah, sadly not. No. Sadly not. I think it's not in my genetics, if I'm honest, to be an elite Nike athlete.
Which is, what's the AF stand? Is it as fuck? Is that?
I think so.
Road racing as fuck. Is that what it's supposed to say?
I don't know if we can
drop an F-bomb.
Yeah, road racing. There's got to be something to do with like a pun that we can come up with. That's something to do with something. Anyway, yeah.
Okay.
So those are going to be going back today.
What they want to do is on the next one is print the fact that PKS runs crime sleuth.
Yeah.
So we can actually get you working out who's been littering.
You can customise them actually. In fairness, you have to pay a bit more. You can customise them. It's funny. It's bittersweet actually. In all seriousness, sending them back is bittersweet because what I'd really love to do is like put them up on the wall. Already got a hole, so to put the pin through. But like I'd love to like these do, and I am going to keep this. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I'm going to keep this.
Put it in a little box.
But it does represent like the adversity and the hustle that went on. Apologise if you're hearing seagulls overhead. Bridgewater is riddled with them.
It's not that bad. You should live in Bath.
Oh really?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And loads of posh wankers there as well.
It's all right. It's all right. Right, let's not
probably it's probably a good time to finish.
I got stuff to do and I'm getting hungry.
All right, you're getting hungry. Ed's getting hungry. Thanks so much for listening, watching. You can find PK's Running Club obviously on YouTube and Instagram and on TikTok, PK's Runs, and find Ed the Quanderer and Ed Powell something.
The only thing I do is Instagram. The Quanderer. Yeah. But even then I don't even post that much.
No, you don't. No. Could be you could be a great drone channel, but
it could be, but I do it for me.
You've just got other things to do, haven't you?
Yeah, other things to do.
So thanks so much for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.